Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to your weekly check-in on Cardano native assets. So on a Monday, I like to check in and see how the markets have been performing for the last week and take a look around some of the native assets. A bit quieter this week with some pullbacks in the market, but we'll take a very quick look at it. And on weeks that is quiet like this, let me know if there is value in putting these out on a Monday or whether I should skip them if the markets are quiet. Give the video a share if you think others can benefit. Subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like and comment questions or any improvements you think can be made here down below. I do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. So to kick it off, we'll take a very quick look at the overall market. If we look at Bitcoin for the last 7 days, basically where it was, up or down 0.3%, but in crypto terms that could change within 5 minutes. If we scroll on down, then you can see XRP, obviously with the big win they had last week, up 56%, and that win was really good for the overall crypto space. I put out a video looking at that and the reasons why I think that's very good for Cardano, so I'll put a link to that one below if you want to check it out. You look at the price of ADA, up just over 9% on the week, which, considering some of the weeks we've had over the last few months, that's a very good week for ADA, even though you might look around and see some bigger gains. But I'll take 9% any week right now. I think at one stage it was up over 36 cents, sitting now at 31 cents, which after you have a major spike like that, you're always going to have a pullback. To me, this is consolidation and we wait to see what happens in the next few days. Looking at TVL then, just very quickly, you can see just under $184 million worth of TVL in Cardano DeFi. And if we look at that in terms of ADA, you can see continuing to set new highs each week we take a look at it. Had a bit of a pullback, and we'll see that in some of the DeFi coins when we look at the native assets on tap tools. But at the minute, sitting at 584 million ADA sitting in DeFi on Cardano. Looking at the last 7 days, the individual protocols, MinSwap up 7%. Most of that is probably due to the price of ADA, considering the price of ADA is up 9%. Indigo up 30, basically 13. Liquid with a really good week, up over 21%. Shed up 14%. And looking down through it, Optum starting to bring out a few new products is one I might dive into in a dedicated video over the next few weeks. Moving on then to individual assets on Cardano. So the top 10 for the last week, a lot of people talking about LenFi, which was previously AADA Finance, had its pullback this week like lots of the other DeFi protocols. It had its pullback from last Monday, had some decent pullbacks down to about 10.5 ADA, and it got its consolidation and pushing to the upper side right now. Overall, still in its uptrend. I'd be cautious right now. I'd be waiting to see whether we can try and break out of this on the top side or whether we hold the bottom once again if we do get a pullback. DCA in times like this is always your friend. That's why when I talked about a lot of these coins last week, I said I'd be very cautious of any of them that have had a major run so far and start to DCA if that's what you want to get into, but always be cautious when something has had a substantial run in the market. If you look at the likes of Milk, this is another one that had some big pullbacks, but got its support and pushing back up again. I personally wouldn't be a buyer at these types of levels. I would rather be a buyer down here or a buyer up here if we can break through the resistance level, which is 16 to 16.5 ADA. So that's what I'd personally be watching for on the Milk side. Overall, really small total supply, so long term, potentially a decent coin there. But again, DCA is what I would personally be looking at. The other popular ones, let's actually just look at the biggest gainers. So as you can see, not a huge amount of movement in the top 25 on the upside. WMT being the best performer, which is World Mobile Token. You can see up 12%, and these prices are all against ADA. So considering the price of ADA is up 9% and then being up against the price of ADA is a very good week overall. So World Mobile had some big announcements during the week. I covered them in the video last week with acquiring Spectrum in the US to really help with the rollout there. Myself and Paddy will be talking to Mickey on a live stream Thursday night, I think this week. So make sure and subscribe, put on the bell notification to get updates about that. And if you have questions for World Mobile, try and make it along on Thursday evening. SundaeSwap with a good week too. You can see up 12%, just behind World Mobile. Stable, which came out initially as a meme coin. I think they're trying to do something else, but not one I have looked too much into. SNEC sitting in around the same as last week. Society, Shen, Meld, the only other ones in the top 25 not to be negative this week. ENCS is one of them that had a major run up initially. It went up to 2.6, 2.7 ADA and having its pullback right now. A coin that I haven't dove too deep into just yet. It is to do with privacy and bringing privacy to your transactions on Cardano, but it's one that is on the short list that I need to dive into at some point. Rejuve is another one out of AGIX, down 27% for the week. FLAC down 26%, which I still think that is a very solid project. If it starts to come down a bit more, I'd definitely be keeping an eye on that one. Iagon IAG, which has, if you see here, over the last 30 days, still up nearly 700%, even after such a big pullback in the week. It initially went up to 0.3 ADA, or just above 0.3. So at the minute, if it's a project you're interested in long term, I wouldn't go all in at these prices, could still fall further, but it's one to keep an eye on. I will be talking to the team this week, so I don't know a huge amount about the project yet, but after I sit down with the team, then hopefully I'll know a good bit more at that point. Vyfi being the other one then in the top 5 on the way down this week, but even still for the last 30 days, up 46%, and the DEX seems to be getting some really good feedback. That tutorial should be out this week on how to use the DEX too. If we go on over then to the money flow, actually I might have it open here, and money flow is a feature over on Tap Tools to take a look at where different types of wallets are putting their funds. So if we look in the last 7 days, the whale wallets have been selling off MinSwap, selling off Cherry, SundaeSwap, and putting the funds into IAG, Paribus, Stable, LenFi, Meld. And when you start to go down through it, I'm still not 100% sure how I'm going to use this feature, but I want to show you how it's all looking. And on the NFT side, we said World Mobile was the top gainer for Cardano assets in the last week. And if you look at if we look at it here over on JPEG Store, you can see there was a big uptick in interest for the World Mobile Earth node. So the NFT has 100,000 WMT wrapped into it, and it's also your key to be allowed to run a node in the World Mobile network. So you can see all of a sudden when some of the announcements came out earlier in the week, the sale prices went from 50, 60,000 ADA for the NFT all the way up to 70. Then FOMO started to kick in into the 90s, and right now I think things are waiting to see what happens next for World Mobile. But on the money flow, if we take a look at, let's maybe look at 100k to 250. So on this side then you see a bit of a flip. So you see people selling off Paribus. Paribus is one that was initially on Ethereum. They have bridged some of their assets over to Cardano now through Chainport. Not a protocol that I've looked too much into yet, but Chainport is where if you have your assets on Ethereum and you want to bring them over to Cardano, Chainport is the place to do that. People will be familiar with Chainport, the bridge that allowed people to bring their copy from BSC chain over to Cardano, and looks like it's becoming one of the most popular bridges for Cardano assets, or for people coming from other chains over to Cardano. So Paribus, AGIX, Indy are the ones being sold out by the wallets in the range of 100k to 250k. So anyone else who is using the money flow to do active trading, do let me know what you're doing. An interesting wallet that I found that I do need to dive a bit deeper into just yet is this one, or is it this one or this one? This one here. When I was looking through some of the assets that had the biggest sell volume, so every Monday I generally start out looking at different tokens, see what's moving, see what's going on, and this wallet caught my eye purely by chance when I was looking into, I think it was IAG, I was looking in to see what individual wallets were selling off and who was making profits over the last week, and this one jumped out. And when I went to look at it, I was fairly surprised. You can see in AGIX, this wallet made 2.5 million ADA. In SNEC, it made 1.1 million ADA. LenFi, it's made 268,000 ADA, and it goes on and on. This is an extremely active wallet, Potentially a trading bot, I don't know yet. The only reason I say that is when you start to look at the individual trades, there's a lot of trades come in very close together, but maybe it's one. You can see here 53 selling on MusiSwap, selling on MinSwap, and then selling on Vyfi. So a lot of they're buying and then they're selling across multiple dexes. So it could be an arbitrage bot. I need to dive a bit deeper into it. Only turned it up this morning, but hopefully you guys got some value from this. If there's any particular projects you're looking into and think I should look into, dive a bit deeper into, do let me know down below. I do appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you soon. Hope you have a great week.